am DJ Pretzel.
I am Zircon.
I am Pixie Tricks.
I am Nigga with a light shining in my face. Police interrogation.
Less black now.
Why you squint, boy? You on drugs?
I was on drugs. I'm Larry OG, otherwise known as Lion Tamer.
DJ Pretzel is the founder of the site.
Hi.
And the other three of us are judges, and Zircon and I are also remixers. But Larry is an OL remixer, which you'll hear about a little bit.
So what is OverClocked Remix? You know, I'm not going to read this verbatim. Well, I'll give you the short version. We remix video game music, pretty much, and the other stuff is true as well. This is the most important part about OverClocked Remix, is the process in which you submit your remixes to us and we reject them. Yeah, we have 10 judges right now. Generally look for stuff that's a little bit more than a cover of the game.
So, one important thing to know about OC Remix is that we don't discriminate against different systems or different genres of music. We basically...
Because
as you can see, we have layers. Anyway.
OverClocked Remix, the community is talking. Anyone registered? Okay, yeah. Anyone registered to the site is free to post reviews on the tracks. It was always good hearing what other artists in the community had to say, and also obviously, you know, what the fans think. Leave a nice review that doesn't say this is dog shit. Like we appreciate and encourage the reviews, and we like to know what everyone thought about the stuff. And we also have other forums. Look at all that stuff. I don't know. I don't even visit all that stuff.
No more on mod.
You know, there's general discussion, which is basically, you know, the pop culture area. You talk about games, anime, comic books, I don't know, that kind of stuff. Technical assistance, you know, my computer no work. I need help. So if you need help, yeah, sure. The remixing tips, where, you know, you can always ask questions on how to work with specific music programs. The works in progress forums. You know, if you have stuff you're working on, you might post it there, get feedback from the community. And the site projects are where we organize and do stuff for the album projects, like you know, Blood on the Asphalt, Chrono Symphonic,
which we'll talk about.
You know, and now we're at the meetup portion.
We have all these meetups across America and also some international meetups. So far, we've got New York, Washington D.C., Texas, Maryland, Utah, Oklahoma, California, Arizona, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and North Dakota. And then we've also had meetups in Canada, Australia, and the United Kingdom. Pictures from some of those, including the upper right corner is that's MagFest last year. And then we have in the upper left is Otakon from this year. And recently in the bottom left is New York City. And another Baltimore meetup. And they're really a lot of fun. So, I mean, even if you guys like, some people in here might not be on the forums yet, but it's totally open to everybody.
The remix album project, yes, we receive lots of attention, particularly when an album project is released. But I know Protricity had the first one in 2000, 2002, Relics of the Chozo. Yeah, he who must not be named. But the site projects, they kind of developed Relics of the Chozo. Protricity mostly did that by himself, when a lot of people dropped out of that because he's a dick. But the idea continued going, and it followed up with the Donkey Kong Country album, Kong in Concert. So we've had a lot of good stuff following up with that. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Hedgehog Heaven from Kirby's Adventure. Yeah, Chrono Trigger, the Chrono Symphonic project. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Blood on the Asphalt, like you heard Jose the Bronx Rican's remix. Sonic and Knuckles Project Chaos was the most recent. Personally, I think the albums do a great job of putting new spins on the originals while, you know, still being mostly recognizable.
Oh, I can talk about this a bit. Alright, I didn't really develop ChipAmp as much as I did like put it together. It didn't take too long. I didn't code any of the plugins, but you hear us talking about chiptunes a lot. You know, there are people around here talking about chiptunes, and there's a lot of different formats. Essentially, these are files that are ripped out of ROMs, the actual game cartridge information, and it's just the music. OCR has them. Whenever you see a game, there's a little chip icon next to it. You can download the chiptune, Zophar's domain. ChipAmp is just something I put together because there's all these plugins for Winamp that let you play these different formats, but it's sort of a pain to track them all down. And then you download ChipAmp, you get all those plugins in one big bundle, so you can play Super Nintendo music or Genesis music, or even some of the really obscure stuff like TurboGrafx 16. I guess that's obscure to some people, I don't know. I have one. Information cataloging. Alright, I haven't read this before.
We can talk about it.
OCR is unique in that it provides many helpful resources. It's so true. One of the nice things about OCR is that we try to document, much like Moby Games does or Wikipedia, the composers so that you can search for remixes by the original composer and so that credit is given, or by the source tune. Yeah, that's taken a long time. Larry, I mean, credit where credit is due, Larry's done tons and tons of work associating source tunes.
For no pay. For no pay.
I've been to Larry's house, and sadly he does have a life. It's just not much of one, 10% of a life. So, like,
we're on top of it now, and hopefully it's a lot more informative. And stuff and shit.
Yay.
I can tell you about this story. Yes, VGDJ is, was the official OverClocked Remix podcast. We released the show on a weekly basis, covered all the latest stuff in the OverClocked Remix community, community news, meetups, competitions, review the latest remixes. However, bad news is I had to step out, kind of trying to pursue other stuff, original music, that kind of thing. I don't really have the free time to do it anymore. But we still have an archive of 66 episodes. We have some videos in there.
This will be the 67th. Maybe someday we'll start it up again somehow, some way.
What's everybody
EG Frequency was so awesome.
God damn, I've never even heard of that show.
Yeah, so anyway, these slides actually depict us at our special Video Games Live episode where we interviewed a bunch of composers. So in the upper left corner, you see us interviewing Tommy Tallarico. That's my back, and some guy videotaping it. And in the upper right is a bunch of us from OCR with Gerard Marino and what's the guy's name? Yeah, Jason Hayes. And then in the lower left, you see a bunch of us again with Tommy Tallarico just hanging out after VGL. And the bottom right is VGL itself, which is Video Games Live, by the way. VideoGamesLive.com.
Yeah, they're playing Space Invaders.
Where was this?
This one was in Philadelphia, but it's touring all over the United States and
the world.
Yeah, it's gonna go global, so it's really good. You guys should check it out. Okay, Larry.
So we've had excellent interviews. No one's interviewed me, by the way, but I don't make any. Yeah, it's a slight against my people, but I also don't make any music, so that's. Who are you again? Who am I again?
Fuck you. He's Lion Tamer. Lion Tamer.
Well, that was a facade. OC Remix is made. Yes, that's correct. I'm Benson. We've had a lot of cool stuff. One of the trends I also like seeing in terms of like press and mainstream stuff is that some remixers are slowly gaining like professional credits in the in the video game music industry, and we also have a couple of remixes from actual professional composers.
One of the things that was nice to see was Spin Magazine. One of the things we're trying to do is get coverage in just the plain old music industry, because it's always associated with games, and the interviews and the articles are almost always game focused, so this is about game music. But it'd be nice to see, and I think one of the things we're trying to shoot for is coverage in more like Spin and maybe one day Rolling Stone or something like that.
Oh yes. We have some brother and sister websites. We have Animated Remix, which as I said earlier,
Stepsister.
Overlooked Remix is the bastard step cousin. I have to keep saying this. Overlooked is the bastard step cousin.
Without the step we have the sauce also, which there's a panel for that earlier. I'm not sure how many of you went to that, but
I was there. Sister side implies that there are girls on the internet. She got a sex change.
One of the most directly tied to OCR in the fact that even the title was taken as a spoof of OCR. It's dedicated to all these parody remixes. Thank you.